Hey guys, in today's video we are checking out this really cool dual channel preamp pedal by Hynotone, an affordable but very versatile and flexible metal beast. And let's start right away with the demo song. Take a listen. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that. That was my Legator X8F 8-string with the Fishman Fluence modern pickups in it, straight into the pedal, the Berserker, with, for the clean tones using the clean channel, and for the heavy stuff, the heavy channel, if you will. This rig was really cool because I used the Hynotone Cab Screamer 60 power amp as well, which I've demoed and reviewed on the channel previously. And that was being powered by this power bank. All right, so that's all really nice. Now, I've done various products from Hynotone before, including the Aries preamp, which is this guy. This is basically the heavy channel of the new Berserker pedal. And then the junction drive, which is their boost pedal. This is also sort of incorporated into the preamp. So today we're looking at the Berserker, their new preamp, and it's a twin channel preamp, as you can see. So we have a clean channel and a heavy channel. And both the channels have their own EQ section with bass, middle, and treble, volume controls and gain controls. That is really nice. You can switch the channels with the channel switch over here, and with the right switch you can enable the boost, which is only active on the top channel, so the heavy channel. And the boost is basically a simplified version of their junction drive boost. So great for tightening up your very percussive, articulate, and modern tones, right? Now with the boost you have a boost control to, dial in the amount of boost that you want, as well as a voicing switch over here, which can be set to punchy or percussive. All right, so that is a really nice touch. I didn't use that in the intro track, but we'll try that out in a minute as well. And then we also have a noise gate built into the pedal, with this threshold control over here, and that only is active, once again, on the heavy channel. Now, the heavy channel also has two voicing switches, a bite and a tight switch that you can sort of use to dial in the tone to suit your guitar, right? Now, one of the cool things about this pedal, aside from it sounding really good, is that it is quite affordable. It will only cost 129 euros or so, which is a great deal for a dual channel preamp. So yeah, you can't really go wrong for that price. Two channels, you can play gigs with this if you're, happy with just having like a clean tone and a heavy or crunch tone. Of course, you can add pedals in front or after it as well. And then if you want to go super portable, you could even go with the Cab Screamer 60 power amp and you power it with the power bank, which just works. It's kind of funny how that works, but it does work, So it's an interesting, really portable rig that's not connected to any power outlet at all, and you can get some nice level out of that as well. The tone of the pedal is very tight and modern, so it's not going to get very thick and sludgy, if you know what I mean. It's not loose, it's very tight and percussive. And with the boost, it gets extra tight and extra percussive. So let's go ahead and, you know, grab a guitar and dial in the pedal and see how it sounds. Check it out. All right, guys, I'm sitting here with my little Hynotone rig. Let's start at the beginning of the signal chain. So I'm holding my Infinia Guitars series, beautiful, beautiful blue beast, if you will. I love this guitar. That is going into the Hynotone Berserker, dual preamp pedal. That is being fed into the Cab Screamer 60. So the same rig, you know, as the intro demo song. This is the power amp that's being powered by this power bank over here. How cool is that? So none of this is connected to, you know, my power outlets on the wall or anything like that. So that's pretty cool, right? I'm starting off with the same settings as I have been using in the demo song. So these settings over here, and we'll explore what this pedal has to offer in terms of tones and what the controls do and how they react and everything. All right? So the power amp is being fed into my Grossmann Fatbox 1x12 ISO cab, in which I've loaded up my trusty Celestion Vintage 30, mic'd up with 2 SM57s and 1 MD421 Kompakt, as per usual. You guys know the drill. Anyway, so I thought I'd pick a 6-string guitar with passive pickups, since for the demo song I used an 8-string guitar with active pickups, just so you guys can hear that as well. But it sounds really nice with this guitar. So this is the dirty channel. Let's switch to the clean channel as well. So of course, with the channel switch, you can switch between the two channels. That's obvious, right? With the boost, you can activate the boost, but that only works on the dirty channel. And for the boost, we have this boost control and a voicing switch for the boost with punchy and percussive. So you know what? Let's go ahead and try that out. So let's go back to the heavy channel and let's enable the boost. That high-pitched noise is either one of the strings ringing here or inside the guitar. No biggie, but the boost sort of accentuates that. Makes it really tight and aggressive sounding, right? So let's try the boost control. So the amount of boost, basically, see what that can add to the signal or subtract. So that's with the level pretty low. It you know, lessens the overall gain. Let's put it up halfway. And let's crank it up all the way. That's a little bit too much. Let's go back to around 1 or 2 o'clock or so. All right, so right now it's set to the punchy mode. Let's switch to the percussive mode. And back to punchy. So percussive adds a little bit more attack, right? So this is extremely tight, great for very low tunings, you know, like an 8-string guitar, for example. I didn't use the boost in the intro track because it just wasn't really necessary. I think it does sound pretty good with this 6-string though. What I would do, personally, to make the preamp sound a little bit better with the boost on is turn up the bass a little bit. So let's try that. And let's try it once again with the boost off. I like the thickness without the boost, but the boost is great for adding some extra definition, clarity, and aggression there, right? So that's the boost. I'll leave it off for now. Let's just mess around with the controls. So of course we have 2 voicing switches on the preamp itself for the dirty channel. So we have a bite switch and a tight switch, which is similar to the single channel preamp that I've demoed on the channel. The bite switch is on right now. Let's switch it off to see what that does to the tone. So again, this is on. Let's turn it off. Again, let's turn it on. And off. So it's a little bit more thick and loose with it off. I like it both. I guess if I were to use the boost, I would turn it off. Now let's enable the tight switch. That's off, and let's turn it on. And off. And on again. It's on the subtle side. Let's try both switches on for maximum tightness. And both off. So it's nice how you can kind of change the voicing of the dirty channel with those switches. Now mind you, I do have the gain cranked up all the way. Let's turn that down a little bit. So this is halfway. It's a nice crunch, still very tight. Let's see what happens if we turn on the boost with the punchy setting right now. Again, a very like tight sound, kind of EVH-y, if you know what I mean. So you can get some low gain sounds out of this channel. But as you hear, as you turn down the gain, it's not like the low end remains very thick. So for my personal use, I just like to use this as a high gain channel, you know, with the gain cranked up all the way. We'll try the EQ in a second. Of course, these level controls do what, you know, you think they do. Let's demonstrate the noise gate real quick, because with this control, it's basically kind of a gate threshold. Let's turn it all the way to the left. So it turns the gate off. It's not overly noisy, but let's turn it up until the hiss disappears. And of course, that is hiss that's coming from the pickups, right? So This is with the volume of the guitar on and off. And we want to attenuate or remove that noise. So around 2 o'clock or so is when the noise disappears. Let's see what happens if we turn it up all the way. That is too much. Yeah, so around 2 o'clock is a good sweet spot for the gate. So that's a great feature. The gate is only active, as well as the boost, for the heavy channel, by the way. Let's quickly try the EQ controls to see how they affect the tone, starting with the bass control. Very radio-like, and again cranked up all the way. So the range is quite musical, if you know what I mean. It's not overly bassy when you crank it up. Let's leave it at 2 o'clock or so. Let's try the mid control. It's a nice range there on the mid control. Let's try the treble control. And finally, now that I have the EQ dialed in a little bit, with the switches off, let's try the boost once more. That's with the punchy mode, and now the percussive mode. I think I prefer punchy for my own use. So that is all the heavy stuff. Let's try the clean channel real quick, just to see what sort of tones you can dial in with the EQ and with the gain control. So first, so this is a very clean ride. Let's crank up the gain and attenuate the level accordingly. There's a little bit of grit there. I imagine that that is cool for like bluesy stuff. All right, that's a good general clean with a little bit of breakup. Let's try the bass control. Again, quite musical sounding. Let's try the mid control. And finally, the treble control. So yeah, that's a nice sounding clean channel for sure. So that is the Hynotone Berserker dual preamp pedal. All right guys, so that is the Hynotone preamp pedal with 2 channels, the Berserker. Really awesome. I really enjoyed this thing, and for the money, you really can't go wrong. 130 euros or so, or dollars. That's crazy. You get a lot for the money. It's sturdy, seems to be well made, and just sounds awesome. The noise gate works well. The boost is very tight, so maybe a little bit too tight for you know, 6-string applications for my taste, but that's based on my own personal preferences. It will work really well for low tunings and with passive pickups especially, in my opinion. The gain channel could have a little bit more gain on tap, although when you crank it up all the way, it is enough for sure, but I like to have a little bit more range on those types of controls for myself. The clean channel sounds nice, so there's a lot to like about this preamp, and I recommend checking it out. And hopefully the demos in this video will give you an idea of if the tone is for you or not. It does have a certain sound, of course, in that it is quite tight and modern sounding. With the boost off, it does sound pretty warm and it feels good under the finger. So I really like this pedal a lot. Thanks so much to the folks at Hynotone for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it. Of course, check the links below to find out more about this preamp pedal or their other products. They're doing a great job, in my opinion, at making some really cool, affordable products that just sound good, you know. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, because I'd love to know. Also, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, as that really helps the channel out. I'd really appreciate it. Also, follow me on Instagram and Facebook, of course. And if you want to support this channel in another way, you can get something at my affiliate links for Thomann, Sweetwater, etc. That way you get to help support this channel at no additional cost for you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers.